When you're on call, it's tough being away from your family. There may be a week that you don't get to see your kids awake because you end up working late every night.
You never sleep really good because you're always expecting the phone to ring.
I was pretty wore out because it was 100 degrees today, and I sat down in the air conditioning at home and just started to doze off when the phone rang.
I just got home from picking up the baby from the babysitter, so I had to find another babysitter because my wife was still at work to run down and watch her for just a minute so I could come on in.
Had a little pop-up thunderstorm, about 100 degrees. So now that this little thunderstorm went through, it feels like it's 120.
We found this limb right here in these people's front yard that fell out of this sycamore tree. It had tore both the phase and the neutral down right in the front yard. So we just opened up the line, just lucky enough that we could open it up right here, and just had, I think, just maybe half a dozen houses out. There was quite a few out, but we opened it up right there and went up and heated everyone else up except for these few houses, so we had it isolated. I had the hoist and the grips and a hand line, dropped it down to Mark, and he sent the end of the line back up that was tore down, and I spliced it back together.
We've got to cut a piece of this out and add a new piece of wire in to clean up the end of the wire. It boogers up the end of the line and kind of unbraids it, untwists it. So you got to cut at least 3 or 4 inches out, and that's enough to make it come out wrong up there. It's kind of like starting from scratch, so you can make the sag come out right. You got to keep a 4-foot spacing all the way down through there.
Right now, we've probably got more outages to go take care of.
It's always an adventure. It's really interesting whenever we're on call.
There's an outage, there's a little storm, a little blow came through here, and you get odds and ends limbs, lightning. This just happened to surface when we were trying to get the line re-energized. I think it's a Virginia creeper. It's grown up the guy wire, and it's just engulfed the top of the pole. This is usually where the cussing starts. And then surrounding the base of the pole is a patch of greenbriers. We're walking through the brush and ran into a toilet. Let me go sit on that commode over there.
Sometimes members wonder why it takes us so long to get their power back on. It's a process. If you're 3 phases out, you have to get your 3-phase on before you can get any single-phase lines on. Then you try to pick your heaviest loaded single-phase line and get it on, so you can get the greatest number of consumers on at one time as you can.
And somebody has to be last, and that's the worst part about it. Somebody gets to be first, somebody has to be last.
In reality, we want their power back on more than anybody.
Things aren't good and fine unless everybody's lights are on.
We're on our way to Payneeville. Dispatch called in with an outage, and actually a whole line's out. The breaker's opened up, so a lot of people out of power.
We go over there and it's still daylight. We was driving around looking for the problem, and the other lineman that lives on that line said, hey, there's a tree up this hollow on my line going to my well.
I know the line, so I went and looked to help them before they got here. We found a tree that had fell into the line.
I seen it from back yonder. It didn't look like it was that big of a tree. I think it'll come off okay. And we got lucky it didn't burn the line down. It just got into it, and the breaker opened up before it had a chance to burn it in two. I'm just gonna start undercutting it back here, work its way up. I think it'll come off, don't you?
I think so.
It didn't take them long to get the tree cut off once they found it and then get back.
We'll head back to the breaker and we're gonna turn it on. The breaker actually hailed. We assumed that was our problem, but just to make sure that wasn't the only problem, through our technology, we'll have dispatch ping the line. And what that means is they're going to have the computer check every single meter that's on that line and make sure that they all send back a reading so that we know everybody's back on before we leave.
This breaker 35.3 and 1S should be back on. Would you mind calling that Johnson and make sure he's got power for us, please? Well, dispatcher comes back, says we still have one person out. So we drive back down to the road where this one person was out. The fuse is out of his transformer.
All the elements seem like they make my job difficult, but probably the biggest one for me is the darkness. You know, when we're out on a late night call and it's dark, that really adds a degree of difficulty to the job.
That's an old transformer, and I can't even get the old fuse out, so I'm gonna go get my climbing tools and climb up there where I can do something.
After I get the fuse in the transformer, then I'm gonna heat the pot from the pole. When I put the stinger on to energize the pot, I immediately can hear this pot start to beller. It's fixing to blow up, so I gotta yank the stinger off as quick as I can. And in doing so, it draws an arc because there's a fault in that transformer and it's not wanting to break the connection. If I hadn't got the stinger off in time and it would have blowed the top off of the transformer, they're full of oil, and that oil is extremely hot. It'd have been a bad deal.
And so then we have to change the member's transformer out. Well, there's lots of fences and stuff in the way, so we had to chase a horse out of there, so we wouldn't let the horse go and cut some fence down to get in there, but we was able to get our truck in there and then replace the transformer.
Got his lights back on, about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and I'd say he's probably glad. Maybe he needs a shower. I know I do. We got her on, ready to go.
Technology has helped our response time greatly. It's helped our daily activities greatly.
Squirrel?
Probably. Hope so.
He ain't on the pot if it's a squirrel.
Here he is.
Find him.
Yep.
Dinner.
Not for me.
Dispatch called us to this outage, and when we got here, we seen no one was home. With the new automated meter reading system, when their meter does not read, it sets off an alarm back in dispatch. A lot of times, if someone isn't home, they won't even know they've ever been out of power. This particular house, no one lives in it. They're actually from Florida, is what the computer said. If they did have something in the deep freeze, everything would have run. When we got here, the fuse was out of the transformer, so we refused the pot, checked the meter. Seems like there's always some type of obstacle when you get off the asphalt road, you know, and this time it happened to be cows, and they didn't want to get out of the way.
Used to, we had a map book that was about 10 inches thick, and you had to look up that location number on a certain page and with a subsection, and it was a little bit confusing, and it took some time. Now you can punch in the consumer's location, and it pulls up address, their information, and we can drive right to it. Makes things a lot quicker.
During the course of the day, that can shave hours off of the day. So it makes us more efficient. It makes us better linemen.
Me and my call partner were on call, and they had several storms come through the area, and the crew that was on before us had an outage out on Poverty Point. The next day, we got a call at the same location that the line was out again.
We found this brush up here, and it had the neutral pushed up into the phase. We trimmed the brush up here in this tree that was pushing the neutral up into it. Hopefully that'll be the cause of it. We have to go back over across the street at the three-phase line, take the fuse barrel down and put a new fuse in it, and then get the line back on. You've got to watch whenever you go around places. There's animals, dogs. You got to talk to them, and don't act like you're scared, because if you do, they'll try to get you. I went up and took the fuse down, put a new fuse in it, run it back up there, and heated the line up where the trouble was at. Everybody should be back on.
The ping is complete, and you got everybody back on.
10-4, that sounds good.
Getting out there as fast as you can. You know, they've paid their bill, and that's what they pay it for, is for a good, fast, dependable service.
Whenever we get members' power back on, the best thing is just the feeling that you get whenever they come out and tell you we really appreciate it.
Another facet of it, to be good at your job. If you think and you're confident and you know that you've done as good a job as you possibly could do, and you got it on as quickly as you possibly could, that's rewarding in itself.
I really enjoy what I'm doing and like who I work for and the people that I work with. That is such a peace, knowing that you're doing what you want to be doing, and I don't look to do anything else, work anywhere else.
I love being a lineman. It's all I've ever really done. It's all I know. My kids are proud of what I do.
I like the word members, but I like the word neighbors better, because I live in the community where I serve, and a lot of people are my friends, a lot of them is my family, and I would like to think in some small way I'm making their life easier by working for them and, keeping them safe and giving them power.